Okay, I think we are live now. I'm just going to keep an eye on that. Let me see where are we doing there. We are now live on YouTube to everyone who had registered. Okay. So we're going to start straight away. I just hope that everyone who had registered got a link. You're welcome to the Healthcare Expert Masterclass, the Healthpreneur Launchpad 2.0 2026. Yes, yes, yes. Let's get everyone in. Let's get everyone in. Once you're watching, if you're already in, you can just leave a chat and let us know where you're joining from. You want to put your name, let's know where you're joining from. Thank you. Thank you very much. So we are not going to waste time. It's 5 minutes past 7, and we're going to kick it off. I'm just going to give a reminder to everyone who had registered. Just 1 second. As you're joining, please let us know where you're joining from and if you have any questions. So Miriam from Ireland, that's very good. Thank you. Okay. Blossom from Ireland. I'm going to add in our guests. They're right here. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Hi, Dr. Shil and Vandita. Okay. So we're kicking off already. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's the Healthcare Expert program. My name is Alain Karim. I know I need no introduction, but just for formality purpose, Olain Karemu, I'm a registered nurse, a registered midwife, public health, and I'm also an assistant professor in nursing, lecturing, and teaching aging and health here in Ireland. Apart from that, I'm the founder and CEO of NC Healthcare Consulting, who is I would say, the pioneer or the host of today's event. As well, I'm the founder and CEO of Adriel Carelink. For the last how many years now? I think 8 years. I've been mentoring, coaching healthcare professionals, and I think my passion it's just so all over healthcare professionals and helping healthcare professionals, especially nurses, to thrive and to see possibilities within the healthcare space and also, beyond the healthcare space or beyond the bedside or the traditional roles. So tonight, basically, what we are going to be doing is, I would say, it's a workstation. It's not like every other, you know, masterclass or seminar. It's a workstation because we are going to really put into practice right here, not waiting to tomorrow what you have learned. So if you're on YouTube, you can share the link at the moment. But for anyone who wants to join in later, will have to register, sign up to get access. So it is definitely free. And thank you for joining us here today. Okay, so without wasting our time, thank you, Mayowa, for joining. Yes. Just let us know where you're joining from. I love that. Just keep it going that way. About 75 people, I think 75 people registered for this. But I also know that when something is free, we tend to take it for granted. But I must say, anybody that is not here today would definitely miss a great deal, to be honest. Just take it from me like that. So let's get to it. We healthcare experts masterclass, from expertise to impact, from expertise to visibility and to monetization. So again, like I said, the purpose of this, we're going to be going through series of programs, series of highlights. We want to see how can you starts for those who have not started. So when I look at the application, a number of queries and a number of interest came in. Some people don't even know where to start. Some have started, they're kind of confused, and some they're already in the loop of it, but they need visibility. They are in the midst of thinking of how can I be more visible, and some are already visible, but then maybe they are not getting the kind of their expectation about income, about their impact is questionable. So just wanting to do more. So you're right here in the right room. So again, we are joined today by our special guests. We have Vandita Agawa from Ireland here, who will be talking to us about everything, how you can position yourself as an expert in the digital space. Of course, now if you are not in the digital space, you're in 200 years ago. So we need to be able to maximize that, right? As well, we have Dr. Sheon Asala, who will be talking to us about the power of storytelling. Personally, for me, I think I don't tell a lot of story. I just go into execution. But over the years, I've come to realize that you need to incorporate storytelling, communicating your value, communicating your expertise, and that's the way to go about it. Okay, so you're welcome once again. I'm going to be peeping on YouTube to see who is watching, and if you have any question or any comments along the line. Okay, so where do we start from? I want you to tell me in the comment section where you are. What stage are you at the moment? What are you doing at the moment? Maybe are you working in the healthcare space? Are you working as a nurse? Just tell me in the comment section there. What are you doing at the moment? And what do you hope to do? What are you seeking for? What are you looking for? Right. My eyes are on the comment, so I'm going to picking your responses there. Right. Like I said, this is not just coming here to listen. It is also coming here to do. It's a practical session. So where are you at the moment? Okay, so as I ask this question, I would appreciate if you put the responses in the chat. But if you can't put it in the chat, it's fine. You can internalize it, or maybe you're writing it down. Just make sure that you're providing answer to these questions, because that's just the fundamental, right? So if you can identify where you are at the moment, that is what I call the self-identification stage. The self-identification, because you need to know where you are for you to know, okay, this is where I want to go. If you don't understand where you are at the moment, then it will be confusing. So identifying where you are at the moment, am I in the right profession? Am I in the right specialty? For some of us who are nurses, maybe, okay, you're a midwife. That is where you are at the moment. And you're working within maybe in a labor ward or something. Or you a doctor and you're working in O&G, or maybe you're a pharmacist and you're a community health pharmacist, or or you have a practice that so you need to, where are you at the moment? That's the first thing. Now the second question is, where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Right. So if you want to explore your potentials, you need to know, what are my strengths? What am I good at? What is that thing that somebody will call you like anytime and then you can answer? You find joy in doing those things. These are the kind of answers question you need to ask yourself, right? So I found that as healthcare professionals, we work so hard. You go to work, especially those of us who work 13 hours, and it's so good. I love, when I was still at the bedside, I love working at the bedside, especially my last clinical role, working as a patient flow manager. But for some, and you need to tell me this, see if this doesn't resonate with you, but I believe it resonates with you. That's why you're here. You feel that, yes, I'm doing a lot here, but I can do more. I can do more outside the healthcare space, outside the bedside, outside the clinicals. I can do more. The same value, the same expertise that you bring in within where you work now, you can also, bring it to the public and monetize it. So we're still talking about self-identification and clarity. What are your desired outcomes? What do you want? Some people are, in the years that I've been coaching, I ask you, what exactly are you looking for? Some people are looking for extra time. They just need more time to be able to do what they love more. Not like you don't love your job now, but like something that comes easier for you, something that brings in fulfillment, that brings in that self-actualization, that satisfaction. Because it's another thing to be working, 9 to 5, working 13 hours on your feet, but the satisfaction might not be there, especially if you are not working in purpose. So what are you looking? Some people are looking for extra money. They are looking for extra income, which everyone loves money anyway. I love money. Everybody loves money. So are you looking for an extra income? Are you looking for a way to make more impact while also making extra income? So what are your desired outcome? Are you looking for visibility? Are you looking for, global impacts? Now, the third question is, which areas feel unclear at the moment? Which areas at the moment feels unclear to you? Yes, I'm going to be walking through the comments shortly, but I'm just going through this, steps of self-identification for you to know where you are at the moment. Which areas feel unclear? Is it starting? Are you thinking of, okay, now that I have started, what do I do next? I don't even know the kind of content to create. Oh, I don't even know how to reach who are my clients? Who are my target audience? I don't even know how to reach them, how to communicate my value. So which of these areas feel unclear to you? Oh, I don't even know the right type of tools that I can use to make my branding more easier. What tools can I use? Now, the last question there is, what support do you need? What support do you need? Because you need to be able to name it. You need to be able to say, I need help in this area. I need help in in digital marketing, for instance, which Valita will be sharing some tips with us today. I need help with branding. I need help with how to do my content. You need to be able to, what support do you need? Maybe I need help with on how I can, promote, or even how I can communicate properly, which Dr. Shiwasala will be sharing with us. So what support do you need? And let me tell you something. For me, I've say 8 years now that I've really been active in mentoring and coaching. A lot of things that I did were via trial and error. No guidance, no coaching, even minimal mentorship. You're just figuring things out yourself. And I would say that if I knew what I knew now, 8 years ago, oh my God, I would be flying. And I'm not saying that it had to be like that for everyone. So it doesn't have to be like that for everyone. So if you have the right guidance or the right support, it makes launching your brand, it makes scaling easier. Right. So I want to share a bit of my story, if it won't bore you. But growing up, my mom was I was a multi entrepreneur. So I would say, if anybody asks me then that, are you going to go into entrepreneurship or even anything business, I would say no. I love academia. I've always wanted to be a professor. For some reasons, I don't even know. I wanted to be a professor. So everything about me was academia. If you give me extra money, I'm going to get textbook. I'm going to buy books. I'm going to get textbook, nursing textbook, medical textbooks. By the way, I rarely read any other textbooks. I think I only just started buying other, textbooks outside healthcare, especially in business. So what I'm trying to say is that it's not something that you just feel like, but over time, I just realized a lot of people have started asking me questions like, can you help me do this? And I found out that I could do it. It comes easier for me, mentoring, leading. When I say leading, I've been leading for, I don't even know how many years, as even when I was in uni, so all of these things come easier for me. Then mentoring young nurses. And then when I went into business fully, like it started as Synergy. How many of you know Synergy Nurse way back then? I think 8 years ago. And we were coaching international nurses who want to relocate to Ireland. And by and by, it started coming together. Okay, we can make money from here. You can use this. You can write books. I started compiling different things, coaching, mentoring, just 50 quid here and there. And now I don't want to go back. I don't want to quit. I don't even want to do any other thing other than entrepreneurship, building products, delivering services that will change life. Right. So I brought in my expertise as a nurse. I brought in my expertise from academia and now translate it into impacts. And from that impact, now generating extra income. In terms of streams of income at the moment, I would say, well, I'm not a billionaire, but I would say like I have streams of income coming in from coaching, from mentorship, from consulting, from book writing, what other thing, from public speaking, right? From influencing, brand promotion. And I still have my job. I still have my job. And of course, now going into full entrepreneurship, having a business, having a brand, having a product now that people can buy into. So there are several ways. I even started podcasting, the point, So there are several ways you can monetize your expertise. And I'm saying all of this because even as a staff nurse, I was doing all of this. And to be honest, my current job, my job, when I got a job as a staff professor, one of the things that I think gave me an edge to get that job was because I was coaching. I already started off my own personal brand. So my personal brand kind of gave some credibility and kind of help my own career advancement. So your brand can also enhance your career advancement if you look at it. So it's not a distraction and it's not a waste of time. Now, not everybody will understand, they might be feeling like, oh, you are doing too much. Why can't you just focus on your job? But you know what you want. That's why I asked that question initially, that what are you looking for? What are your desired outcome? Okay, so thank you. I'm just going to keep a tab there on the comments. Yes, Yemi Sise, I'm very good at coordinating Black African patients who are trying at a crossroad of their fertility treatment. That's something very good. Nurse Dazni there is a mental health nurse working in the NHS, right? The person working in the private sector there. Favor from Nigeria. Extra areas that feel unclear is starting the structure I need to put in place and so on. All right, thank you for sharing that. So we're going to go to the next. So we have gone through that self-identification. You need to know where you are at the moment. Now, how do you position yourself as an expert? I hope you all agree with me that you're an expert. By the definition of expert, who is an expert? You're not a novice. You have the right qualification. You have the experience. When I look at the application, I think the least experienced person that registered is less than 5 years in practice. So you have the experience, you have the qualification, you have the skills, you have the technical know-how about your area of practice. A nurse, a doctor, a pharmacist, a healthcare assistant. I see somebody registered as a healthcare assistant, and that person is a volunteer with WHO in field work, all this global health advocacy. So you are the expert in this area, and that's why our program is called Healthcare Experts, because you are not a novice. Now, how do you now position yourself as the expert outside your current role? Now, a lot of us, if you don't tell people that, oh, I'm a nurse, nobody knows you're a nurse. Oh, I'm a pharmacist, nobody knows you're a pharmacist outside where you work. So how can you communicate value in such a way that it can bring you extra income and then you can make more impact. That's all this program is all about. That's what I'm preaching. So I'm going to be inviting our next speaker at this stage to talk about positioning as an expert in a digital space. But before then, I'm going to ask us, just comment, what social media handle are you using? Are you on social media first? When I say social media, I mean the likes of LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. So put in the chat box, what social media space are you utilizing? I'm sure you're using one. Of course, you're on YouTube now, so you're on YouTube. So which other social media space are you utilizing? You can drop that in the comment section. So I'll talk a little bit about positioning as an expert. In my first book that I wrote, it's called Emerge as an Healthcare Pro, right? Meaning that how can you become a better you? You can look that up. It's also on Amazon, Emerge. And I really talk about positioning there. Positioning in terms of your expert, in terms of your skill. Now, you might even where you work at the moment, how do you even position yourself for leadership role? How do you position yourself for that, I would say high paying job where you work? How do you position yourself? What's your bio like? What's your CV like? How do you put together your experiences and your expertise, your skills together that will make you stand out amongst your peers? What are the things you need to do to enhance your current skill that will make you stand out? So positioning is not about being loud. It's about being clear. Like I said, you have the training, you have the experience, you have the skill. What's often missing is how this expertise is framed, how it is communicated, and how it is understood by others. So expert positioning means you being clear about who you help. Who are your audience? Now I know my audience, and I found this very challenging, before, to be able to say, oh, these are my audience. I wanted to reach out to everybody. No, but now I know that my audience are healthcare professionals who, not every healthcare professionals who want more. Right. On the other side, my audience are older people and their families, So being clear about who you help. So as I'm speaking now, you can think in your head and you can write it down. Who am I helping? Who am I targeting audience? So expert positioning also means you naming the problem you solve. You are not creating a solution and start looking for a problem. You have identified a problem that you want to provide solution to, and in that process, you're making impact, and then you're making extra income. The other thing about expert positioning is you communicating your value in a way others can recognize and trust. Unfortunately, even I was listening to something recently, and a lot of people don't want to go into the healthcare field any longer because of lack of trust or of experiences either to themselves or somebody they know that have been unpleasant. So expert position is the difference between I'm a nurse, I'm a doctor, and I help pregnant women, to have safe delivery. So it's different using your expertise. So you can't just say, oh, I'm a midwife. That is just a naming. That is just a job title. But you position yourself, I help, maybe like Yemi said, I help Black or African women who are struggling with fertility, who have been trying with your expertise. That is positioning. So in today's digital space, expertise that is not well articulated, it becomes invisible, no matter how deep it is, no matter the years of experience, no matter the qualification. If you like, have PhD, if you cannot articulate your expertise, then it becomes invisible. So on this note, join me to welcome Vandita Gara. Hi, Vandita. And Vandita will be taking us through how you can position yourself as an expert in the digital space. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Good. Yes, yes. So for those who are, if you're joining, just why I bring Vandita on, you can take a screenshot, you can just note something and retweet and share with your network that this is going on. This is part of you positioning yourself, right? This is an assignment you have to do that. So what have you learned so far in the last 20 minutes? You know, tweet it, comment it, post it, take a screenshot of, what we are doing now and share. Thank you, Vandita. So Vandita is a lovely friend. I'm going to let her introduce herself, but please pay attention. This woman here, she's loaded. Anything that has to do with digital marketing, she mentors for one of the renowned organization here in Ireland. She's the founder of Articulate Business. Consulting here in Ireland as well, a digital marketing organization. And I'm bringing her in today because even myself, I need that expertise. So let's pay attention. You're welcome, Vandita.
Thank you so much, Alyanka, for introducing me to the wonderful healthcare expert program today. For all the audience, I would like to first introduce myself. My name is Vandita Agarwal, and I am based out of Dublin, Ireland. So, I am a founder of Articulate Digital Business, and I am also in the mentor panel of Mentors Work Ireland, where I train small and medium sized businesses on how to be visible online, and I am also on the advisor panel of Enterprise Nation, both in the UK and Ireland, doing the similar thing about performance marketing and growth. So, the first thing I do with my clients and workers are to help them identify what are their pain points, what is stopping them online to get the customers that they want. So, that is the one thing. I started my journey 8 years ago as I did my MSc in digital media marketing and worked in the consultancy sector for past 8 years, mentoring all the SMEs based in the Irish market and globally. Today, I would like to share the slide with all of you in order to mention what your expertise are and in which sector are you, so that we can start from the baseline and grow you up on the structural basis. So, I would like to mention in the comment section where you are in your journey at the moment. And hello, Yemi, how are you? I can read the comments. So, just wanted to mention, please describe in the comment where are you in your journey at the moment, so that we can take from there like how you can position yourself as an expert in your journey in the digital space, and from there we'll see how it goes. Before starting the presentation, I would like to tell you the story. So there was a bakery store, newly opened bakery store with a good aromatic smell of breads, sitting between two giant factories. But no one knew about the bakery store. So no one knew about it, so people don't come there. And the owner of the bakery store was so sad that why people doesn't come there. Then they realize they are short of marketing and they are not letting people know about themselves. So what they started doing is throwing the leaflets in every corner of the street, talking about how good their bread is and not talking about come and buy bread from us. So there is a difference between the messaging that what you are talking about. So once you tell about the benefits of your product and services, that really comes handy into place. So in the healthcare sector, everyone is specialized here. Like Olyanka told us before, she was a nurse staff. So she holds certain kind of expertise which she built up within years. All of you here have certain kind of expertise. Like Yemi, she is a fertility expert. so she can easily consult people on fertility. The other one told she is a nursing staff with NHS in UK, mental health nurse. So they can come into the counseling session and discover them as an expert in their field. So knowing people about your services and putting you expert in the digital space, which is really easy in today's time, once you have the expertise of doing it, is really helpful. So I would like to request all of you who are joining the session, please write what your expertise are, what you are working as from years, so that we can build up from that as a workshop. So why this matters? Guys, you have to be responsive in the session today. You have to write down what you are and what you are doing. So Yemi is saying she is a novice and want to use digital space to upscale my social enterprise and reach my target audience. So Yemi, you are a novice in digital space, but I would say you are not novice in your sector because you are already a fertility consultant, if I am not wrong, in your in your workplace. So I'll tell you in the healthcare expertise why digital space matters a lot. So number one, healthcare expertise is no longer confined to hospitals. It's much more than people need it on a regular basis and on a private basis. Patients, companies, startup, and media seek trusted experts online. If you put the regular content online on platforms like Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, and you have automated system in place where they contact you directly, and instead of you replying to them, your system or AI replies to them, and then once they have paid you, you do the consultation with them. So that's the another important thing. Digital presence is equal to visibility, credibility, opportunity. So if you are active on the digital presence, people trust you. Working outside hospitals requires demonstration authority, not job titles. When you are updating your LinkedIn profile, it's not a CV anymore. You can explain your expertise there. You can write about what you are good at. If you are good at mental health nursing, write what techniques you use, routine setup, write blogs on it. So people know you as an expert in your field. Build engagement and trust, create authentic connections on platforms like LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. Data in today's world is very important. So when you measure and optimize, you will be able to see what your which content that you are putting is working and which content is not working. What expert positioning really means: being known for a specific problem you solve, communicating value clearly and consistently, showing proof of knowledge, experience, and outcomes, building trust at scale through digital platforms, cultivating engagement and trust at scale through digital platforms. Content matters in today's digital world. So basically, when you are putting the content out there, it shouldn't be the broadcasting content anymore. It should be informational or the news content which is trending. So if you build the trust and authority between your audience, then they'll start trusting you. You'll create the trust factor there. And once they are happy with your regular content and they see and get the free B, that okay, this person is helping me with the problem that I have, and you solve a problem, they'll start paying you for that services. So freebies and content creation through freebies is very important today's in the today's digital world. Common non-hospital career paths: health consulting and advisory roles, health education and coaching, digital health startup, public health advocacy. You can go to corporate wellness, health tech, pharma, insurance, and can open your own NGOs to help to solve the problem of people in various ways. And this can all be done with simple putting yourself as an expert on digital platforms. So, what we are going to discuss today? We are going to discuss today understanding social media sales funnel, what a sales funnel is and why it matters, attract the right audience, building awareness strategically, convert and nurture leads, turning interest into action, social media rules, how platform drive funnel success, build engagement and trust, creating authentic connections. Creating authentic connections is very important in today's world. That's how you can create your followers into real customers. You don't need millions of followers on your social media accounts. Few original and authentic followers are the good way to start, and automation is the key. Measure and optimize. Data driven improvement and automation. So, when you are posting your content and you have a business account set up on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, you can see data at the back end. You can see insights. How many people are viewing your content? From where they are viewing your content? Is it a male or female who are viewing your content? And based on that, you can update your content on a regular basis. You can see what is working and what is not working. So before I go to sales funnel, I would like to answer few questions that I have in the comments. So I am a registered pediatric nurse with more than 5 years in NICU. I help mothers take care of their nutrients while they focus on recovery from postmortem stress. So I have held one of the person with the lactation consultant. So she helps newly pregnant mother with their dietitian, how they can take care and how they actually support in their journey of 9 months. So with this expertise, you can put out yourself with a good website and putting the content out on social media platform, that how you do to your customers. You can start your private practice online and do one-to-one consultations with them through platforms like Zoom, Google Meetup, or maybe 1 hour consultation at your registered office. Philippine saying, I am a lecturer in the department of nursing for 12 years. If you are a lecturer, you can build your own courses and sell online. That is another passive income stream that you can build online. My name is Nurse Cornelius. I am backend developer, a writer, have authored 2 books, and I'm very good in writing, especially in local languages in LGBO telling stories I have translated into tech. So you are a tech savvy person and you are a backend developer. So, since you are a backend developer, you can collaborate with agencies, web development agencies, digital marketing agencies, and help them to develop their things backend. So that front end and backend combines. Nurse Daisling says, as a mental health nurse, I am working at building a mental health fitness coaching brand to create awareness about mental health and help people build resilience and maintain a good quality of life. Mental health is very important these days, and people are creating awareness about mental health a lot. So, if you start your own consultation and coaching brand regarding mental health, the digital authority and digital sales funnels is very important for your business. Let's see how. So, first of all, what is sales funnel? A sales funnel represents the journey your audience take. From discovering your brand to becoming paying customers, your goal is to guide your audience smoothly through each stage with the right message at the right time. So, first of all, what you have to create is the awareness about what you do. Few videos or the graphic designing post regarding the put the right caption. You have to make your audience aware of your services. People discover your brand through content, paid ads on Meta, Google, LinkedIn, and word of mouth. That is recommendations. I train people on how to do Meta ads and LinkedIn ads. So, in case if you want, I could assist you with it. Second is interest. that you have to create between your followers that already follows you, so they follow you, engage, and learn more about what you offer. Decision: they compare options and consider you as their solution. So once they see your content that you are putting on social media platforms is really helping them, they compare you with two three other social media accounts, and if your content stands out, they become your regular paying customers. Action: so action is something, once they see your content is really good, they look at your content and make the decision that they have to purchase or sign up or become valued customer of your brand. Why social media matters? Social media is not just for visibility. It is powerful funnel builder that transform how business connect with customers. Where your customers are. Your audience spends hourly, daily on social platform. So you have to identify which platform your audience are. Are they on LinkedIn? Are they on Instagram if they are millennials? Are they on Facebook if they are elderly people? So you have to find what niche you are targeting and focus all your attention into that one platform that gains you paying customer. Two-way communication. Build genuine relationship through direct engagement. If someone likes your post, then message them directly saying thank you for liking my post. I offer these services, and if you need any other content I and you have any other problem, I can build that content for you and you can have a look. That way you are creating a two-way communication with them. If someone comments on your post, comment back saying thank you or reply with a educational post through them. Valuable data and insight. Understand behavior and preferences in real time. Data in today time is very important. So if you are looking at the data of the person, how they are reacting with your daily post and adjusting your post based on their database, then only you can succeed in digital business creation. Attract, build awareness. So your funnel starts with attracting the right people. Focus on value driven content, educate, inspire, or entertain before you sell. Don't just start selling on your post that I am a mental health expert, buy from me. People will scroll your post. You have to educate them with the proper information, inspire them to take the action, like make a routine if you are a mental health patient, or entertain them with the post that they look at it and they find entertainment. People go to social media platforms for entertainment these days, so 15-second to 60-second reels about entertainment can really help you build your community around your services. So identify your ideal audience, create detailed audience personas to understand who you are speaking to, define your niche. Create scroll stopping content. Use videos, reels, and valuable posts that capture attention instantly. Use targeted ads. Reach your niche audience with precision advertising campaigns. Ads are very important to generate leads which are not already your followers. So spending few bucks on meta ads and LinkedIn ads can actually help you build the community around your services, and automation will help you reply to them without you being sitting in front of your desktop and mobile, and they will create the sale for you. Optimize your profile. Perfect your bio, which is very important on each platform, regardless of which platform you are focusing on. Perfect your bio on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok, where you'll appear on the Google search engines when someone look for your expertise, and they'll read about you with a click to call action to your website or your email address or the WhatsApp number. Links and visual to make strong first impressions. If you are not available online and your bio is not right, then you are going to lose your potential sale. So, optimizing your profile is very important. Engage, build trust and relationship. Once you attract followers, turn them into a community. The more your audience interact with you, the warmer your leads become. Engagement strategies. Start conversations through poll, stories, and comments. Create polls on Instagram and LinkedIn accounts like, are you suffering from mental health? Yes or no? What remedies are you taking to how do you know that you are suffering from mental health? I feel sleepy all day. I don't feel like doing the things I used to do before. So people will click on those posts and you will make a community behind that. Create regular stories with educational and entertainment content and reply to comments. And also comment on other similar people industry post. When you comment on other people post, their followers can see your profile and you will build an engagement. Share customer testimonials and behind the scene post. Offer free value, webinar, guides, or challenges. One of you mentioned that you have authored two books. So if you offer small guides of your book and put it on your website platform, people will read the book and eventually they'll buy your book. Respond quickly and authentically to all interactions. Remember, authentic engagement builds the foundation of lasting customer relationship and brand loyalty. Convert, turn engagement into sales. Now it's time to move from interest to action. Create a sense of trust and urgency. Clarity beats complexity. Landing page and lead magnets, which are very important. Have your own website or a one page website landing page with a sales funnel where you mention all your services, where people can actually read about it and they can book your service from there. Offer free resources in exchange for email address to build your list. Retargeting ads are very important. Remind users to engage with your content to take the next step. Limited time offer. Create urgency with special promotions for free consultation. Seamless checkout. Make purchasing easy with clear call to action and simple process. That's all the landing page thing. Optimize and automate. So track key metrics. When you are on Google profile, you can use Google Analytics on your website to check how many people are coming on your profile, from where they are coming, and which demographics they are. So once you check them, you can see what kind of people and what niche is actually taking interest in your services and content, and then you start building content from there. Test and refine your content on a regular basis. Identify drop off points, where people drop off, which page they drop off. So you can check what's not working. Use automations tool. I am saying again and again, use automations tool because it will save you a lot of time. You can automate WhatsApp in today's time by using WhatsApp API. You can automate Instagram messages automatically. If someone likes your comments, you can automate that. Leverage meta ads in automation. Whoever is interacting with your post, just paying few bucks to meta, you will show your ad to them again and again. In your reels, email sequences. Take a list, send bulk email to people introducing your services, and use CRM tools. Your social media funnel blueprint. Attract, engage, convert, optimize. Attract, so use social media to bring the right people in targeted and value driven content. Engage, build trust through authentic connection and constantly community interaction. Convert, make it easy for them to take action with clear pathways and compelling offer. And optimize, use data and automation to scale your success and refine your approach. Start small, test often, and stay consistent. Your social media funnel is a journey of constant improvement. So here I would like to ask you, Someone says, Yemi says, I like automation due to my work schedule. That's really nice. Automation is the key here. So, next thing I just wanted to say to all of you is I offer these training. It's a 6-week kit where I teach people on Facebook marketing, Instagram marketing, WhatsApp automation, website design, content creation, and meta ads. So, if you wanted to book a consultation with me to move forward with this, or Olyanka can brief you on it, then we can have a look about it. And just one thing, Olyanka, the last slide is left. If we can just share it. So, if you wanted to connect, then this is my credentials, email address, and by scanning the QR code, you can easily go to the email address and on my website, and you can look at what I offer based in Ireland, and you can contact me from there. Thank you so much, all of you, for listening to me, and thank you again, Olyanka, for inviting me to speak. Hope the session is valuable and you get something out of it.
Okay. Thank you so much, Vandita. I'm sure if you could hear people clap, you understand that it was really appreciated. Thank you for joining us tonight. If you have any question for Vandita, who had actually taken us through, actually, I would say snipers, because when we talk about data, marketing or how you can use the data space is a whole lot, right? So, but I think within the short time she has been able to summarize it for us. It's very important that you bring your expertise, your brand to the digital space. And I know that a lot of us will say, "Oh, I'm not tech savvy, I don't." But if you can't do it, then you can outsource. You can definitely outsource. You can automate. There are different tools out there that you can use to automate your brand, your services, your offerings, and even products, so that you are not losing out at all. So thank you once again, Vandita. Thank you so much for joining us today. Take it later.
Thank you so much, Olenka, for inviting me.
Have any question for Vandita, you can drop it in the comment section, or you can just put it in the WhatsApp group and we'll get responses to that. Because of our time, we'll be going to the next session. Thank you, Vandita. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, all right. So, in one word, what did you say? What's your takeaway from this last session? If you just put it in the chat box, just one word. Okay, let me say two word or one sentence. What have you taken away from the last session? This just concluded session with Vandita. Coming next, we're going to be going to the second speaker. But I just want us to see this transition. So we have talked about clarity. That was where I started from. And then now we have also talked about positioning yourself. The next natural question, or the next question naturally becomes, how do you communicate your expertise? Vanita mentioned a lot about that as well. You've positioned yourself, but it's not just about being visible. Now, I tell you, I've also, like I said, all of this for me had been trial and error, and over time, where you now know this is the right way to go, you learn by those, but you don't have to go through all those bad experiences that I went through. Now, this is why we are having this guidance, we're having this masterclass. So you can be visible, but you might not be communicating the right value. You might not be communicating well. So, and that will affect the engagement, to your content, or even will people even buy whatever that you are offering. How you communicate your expert is very important, because if not, it could be misunderstood. It might, people might not trust you, or it might not even be remembered. Many healthcare professionals tell me, I don't want to talk about my personal life, and I know this. So I'm an introvert. I don't want to overshare. I just want my work to speak for itself. Yes, your work will speak for itself, but it doesn't have mouth. I just want to be clear. Storytelling or when you're communicating, it's not about exposing your private life. In fact, this morning I was listening to Pastor DDK, and she was talking about, content creation. As if, we're just in line with what this was about. I was like, wow, this is just in line with what I was going to say today. People in content creation, you don't necessarily have to put your whole life as the content. It is the context that really matters. It is the lessons that comes with that story, the context that really matters. For instance, maybe, oh, you do get ready with me today, or maybe a day in the life of a midwife. It's not just about how you wake up. People are not interested in how you woke up. Did you brush your teeth or not? They want to see what are the lessons, what are the principles. Yeah, she mentioned about principles. What are the principles that you're bringing out from that experience? So it is about communicating value. Storytelling is a communication tool. I'm sure we know. It will help people to understand what you stand for. If I ask us here now, maybe you have seen me on LinkedIn. If you don't know anything about me, what do you know about Olayenka Aremu? What will people know about Yemisi Adegbile? What do you stand for? What you know deeply. That is another thing that storytelling. People will, what do you know? What's your substance? You know, and for now, of course, if anybody wants to, the speaking engagement I'll be getting is either around mentorship, leadership, aging, when it comes to business or coaching. I don't think anybody will call me to come and speak on I'm just thinking now. As an academia, I can diversify, but nobody will come and call me to talk about tech, all this deep tech, or some core business or finance. Nobody will come because that's not my area. I don't know those deeply. Maybe on the surface. So storytelling also help people to understand why your perspective matters. It also helps people to know how your expertise solves real problem. And in healthcare, especially, we know that credibility is not built by noise. It is built by clear communication. So what we are going, the next session, we are going in our next speaker, Dr. Sean Asala. And I must say, Dr. Sean Asala is actually a medical doctor, right? You're going to hear everything from him. This resonates deeply. He comes from a strong healthcare background as a medical doctor and has gone on to apply storytelling, communication intentionally, when it comes to healthcare, branding services, not just as performance, but as a strategy. So join me as I welcome. Let me have him here. He's right here, okay? With your emoji, welcome with me, Dr. Shil Asala, to this session. Hi. Can you wait?
Hello, everybody. Am I
Can you
audible? Can you hear me?
very audible, Dr. Shil.
Okay.
Very
All
audible.
right.
So Dr.
Okay.
Shah will be talking about storytelling as a strategic communication tool. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Okay. So I'll dive right in. But before I do that, let me try to see if I can share my screen. Just a second. Let me know if I need to figure this out. Let me see.
Okay. You can add it.
Yes. Okay. I hope I'm sharing the right thing. My
Okay.
screen? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is it showing the proper?
Yeah, showing the power of storytelling in brand and business
Okay.
visibility.
Okay. The slide, right? Not the presenter notes.
No, the slide.
Okay. All right. So let's get started. Good evening, everybody. I'm really, really happy to be here, especially because this kind of conversations are It's something I'm really passionate about. I'm passionate about storytelling. And I'll start by saying that, okay, as a background, my name is Sheung Sala. Friends call me Sean. I started as a medical doctor, like Olayinka said, and many years later, I am now into communication and storytelling. And I'll just give you a brief summary of how that happened. Essentially, I just got captivated by the power of storytelling, and for a good reason, which I hope to communicate in these few slides I have, because I think it's important for us to know that the at the core of all of this we're trying to do, package ourselves for better visibility and influence, and possibly to be able to add value to ourselves in terms of monetization. At the core of it is the story. How do you tell stories? How do you craft your content as a story? Why stories? Why stories is because stories have the power to transform. They do not just have the power to transform. Actually, the whole our human existence is anchored on storytelling. Look at it from any angle. If you look at it from our religious beliefs, how we began to believe, the various religions we believe, is was anchored on stories. How we understood our society, how we understood values like truth telling and and honesty and integrity is the stories our parents told us, is the stories our teachers told us. All right. How we learn about history, how we plan or envision the future is all anchored around stories. And that is what captivated my heart and why I decided that, I think I can do more if I embrace storytelling, rather than just sitting in a consulting room with a stethoscope and dealing with patients one after the other. So, I mean, I usually use this story to illustrate. Since we're talking about storytelling, I'll just quickly tell you this brief story. Picture um, picture a village, right? And there's a doctor working in a village, and maybe he's the only doctor in like 3 of those local government areas or communities. And every day he's encountering people who are suffering from waterborne diseases. So it could be diarrhea, could be an infestation like parasitic infestation and so on. And every day he slaves in the clinic, he gets there, sees a queue of people, and it's the same problem over and over again. And he decides to investigate further, and they find out that the reason why these villagers are coming with this condition is because there's no good water, clean water. There's no good clean water for people to drink and use in that community. That is the cause of the problem. And he's able to now imagine that he's able to package that story, and instead of just addressing the problem from the leaves, I would say, or from the tip, he goes down to the root and addresses the problem. And he does that by putting together a nice documentary or a nice article about the problem. And it's so captivating, so emotional that the local government authorities, maybe they come across the documentary on BBC or on social media, and they see the real face of the problem. They see people who have lost people because of a lack of clean water. And he puts together that documentary and it airs. I would dare say to you that that 5-minute documentary, right, if it moves that local government authority chairman to make a decision to make sure that that village has clean water, I think that he would have done maybe a little bit more than a doctor who just comes every day to work to slave away and treat people. So this, I hope this little story shows you the power of storytelling, that a well-crafted story has the power to transform and make impact. And that is the foundation of every other thing we're trying to build in terms of why we're having this conversation in the first place. So we're all healthcare professionals. We're looking at how we can package ourselves, package our brand, our personal brands, and our businesses in a way that adds value to our society, but at the same time gives us value back by improving our brand, improving our opportunities to make economic gains for ourselves. It's all anchored in storytelling. So just jump right in. to say that the purpose of this session is not about becoming a social media influencer or seeking attention for its own sake. The goal is to make your clinical and professional expertise visible, understandable, and useful beyond your immediate workplace. All right. So that's the goal of this session, to build trust and clarity. So stories will help you to build trust and clarity, and you will see as we go along why it is important for you to have trust and clarity. Now, the reason why we must tell these stories, the reason why you must tell these stories is because, most of the insight, most of the things we learn from our experiences every day, from being a nurse, professional, or, whatever it is that you do, a carer, a social worker, most of it stays locked in the system that you work in. All right. And it doesn't go out to the broader audience or maybe to another healthcare professional in another context, in another locality or region. Some of the experiences we face as clinicians in the UK, if we're not telling the stories, people in Nigeria or Ghana will not be able to learn from those things. And so stories help us as a tool or channel to carry those stories away. All right. So storytelling is it acts as a bridge, allows you to convey your expertise from the bedside or the community or the care home to a global audience and makes it globally relevant. And you see why as we go along. One of the main reasons is that you need to build trust, right? To be a successful influencer, to be a successful content creator, to be a successful professional with a voice, you need to build trust. If people cannot understand what you know, they cannot benefit from your expertise. And so storytelling is one of the best ways to translate what you know into value for the audience, right? So that's why we're talking about storytelling. And again, just to say that storytelling is not self-promotion. I see a lot of people making this mistake. I also made this mistake, which is that the storytelling is not about you per se. It's not about you. It's about your audience. Yinka mentioned that, and the other speaker, Anita, mentioned it too. Your audience it starts with your audience. It starts with your audience. Who are you speaking to and why are you speaking to them? What is your core message? And you can choose your audience. All right. So as a doctor, I might decide that I want my content to speak to other doctors. Or I could be a doctor, but I want my content to speak to my patients. Or I want my content to speak to other professionals. Maybe the whole reason why I'm packaging myself is because I want to become a public speaker. Now, in what kind of audiences or what kind of scenarios do I want to speak to become more visible? So I need to package my stories for those kind of people. All right. Like I personally, as of now that I'm speaking to you, my audience, my target audience is creators, creatives. I call them creatives, which is anybody who creates something out of nothing. Anybody who tries to create a story or create a video or create a photograph. That's my own core base of audience. And so I try to package all my content around that. So it's not self-promotion. It is structured sense making. In other words, you're taking all your experiences, all your knowledge, and making it make sense and packaging it in a structured way. That is what storytelling is all about. That is one definition of storytelling. It's not gossip, right? It's not oversharing. It's not trying to build your status as an influencer. It's about the audience. And the interesting thing is that as clinical people or as healthcare professionals, I'll use that word, it's not a strange thing, right? We are telling stories every day. In fact, I always like to use this analogy. Our every day is a story. Every day is a story. You wake up in the morning, right? You brush your teeth, you get dressed, then problems start coming. How to get to work on time. You forgot that email. You left your keys at home. As the day goes along, you're hungry. Your child runs into the room. He wants something. That's how your day unfolds. And at the end of the day, you overcome all those problems. And finally, you can sit back and breathe a sigh and say, another day has gone by. That's a story, right? Or you go to the clinic. You have a patient, you're handing over the patient notes, you're taking notes about the patient's condition. That is all data that you're putting in a structured format. They're all some type of story. But for the purpose of what we're trying to do today, we're going to go a bit further than that. But I just wanted to make that point that the skill of storytelling is familiar already to us as clinicians, as carers, as nurses, as social workers. We already use storytelling in our handover summaries, in our case histories, whenever we have meetings and we take notes. The only difference is that the audience. So how do you package all of that for the audience you're looking at? I'll just to make it interactive, I would like to invite you to share in the comments on YouTube Live, if on a scale of 0 to 10, how would you rate yourself in terms of storytelling? Do you think you're a good storyteller? Do you understand the concept of storytelling? Have you written stories before? I saw in the comments that some people have written books, some people write stories for children and so on. It's really interesting to see. So some of the things I'm talking about, you'll be familiar with. So for you, this may just be like a refresher. Let's quickly move on. I'm conscious of time. The other thing is that there are some very important things that you must value in crafting your stories and making yourself more visible and building your authority. And I will start with trust. Trust from your lived experiences is more important than viral reach and likes. And that can be quite hard to communicate and to actually practice, because we live in an age of social media where, instant gratification. Once you post something and you see the likes and the comments, you feel that dopamine hit you. You're like, yes, I'm an influencer, my authority is building. So we get carried away with likes and reach. And we forget that what is most important is trust. If you think about the very successful content creators today, it's trust. If you look at someone like Casey Neistat on YouTube or Mr. Beast, people trust that they will be entertained. People trust their content because they've been consistent over the years. And that is so important, right? You could have 1 million followers, and if they don't trust you, you cannot convert those followers into people that you can sell something to. You cannot convert that into money. You cannot, you'll be surprised that you have 2 million followers, but nobody's buying your book or nobody's enrolling for your course. It's because they've not built trust. Credibility is more important than credentials. How do you build credibility? By showing up every day, by being authentic. Familiarity is more important than authority. What do I mean by that? If you can make your audience, your targeted audience, to feel familiar, that they know you, is more important than the authority you have. And I'll use this as an example. I used to say that if you have a president of a country where the people feel him, they know him, right? Maybe he has sit downs, town hall meetings with them every now and then, and they feel him, he's going to be a lot more successful than someone who is just a commander-in-chief. So his authority doesn't mean anything, but because he's not relatable, people are not familiar with him. And the same thing about safety. People want to feel safe in your hands. If you're recommending a book to them, you want to feel safe, that you're not swindling them, you're not scamming them. All right. So these are some of the important things you need to put in mind as you tell stories. We'll just quickly take, I call this a case study. So imagine that a community nurse noticed that patients are repeatedly misunderstanding their medical instructions. So they're missing doses or not taking the drugs correctly. And she notices that every time she goes for a home visit, she's getting this kind of feedback. So she decides to tell a story out of it. She says, "What I keep seeing in practice and why it worries me." That's the title of her story. So it's relatable. It's a lived experience. It's from her experience, right? And you can see the dots. The information is all gathered everywhere, like from different experiences. But then she now puts it all into a story from different examples, and she's able to weave a beautiful story together. And the outcome is that she gets engagement from all over the world because her story is relatable. She has not mentioned any patients' names in terms of, because some of us are going to be concerned about data. How much can we share? That will not contravene the laws of the land in terms of data privacy and all of that. So that is just one little way to look at how you can start putting together your stories. And that leads me to the next point, which is that one of the questions I'm sure we will have is, how do I even craft all these stories? I have so much I feel I need to share. I have so much I think I can share. What are some ways to filter all of that information from my experiences to begin to craft stories? So you can look at this like the engine room of your stories. All right. So one, and these are just a few recommendations. There's so many, but I want to just put this forward. So you can talk about your experiences. what you have seen repeatedly in practice. You go to the clinic every day, you go to visit your patient every day, you are sitting in meetings every day, you interact with other healthcare workers every day. What do you see repeatedly? Take notes, right? Or transition, maybe a way you used to work before or a way you used to think before, and now how you think. And I use my own story as an example. I used to think that, it was fulfilling enough to be a clinician in a hospital and treating my patients. I mean, that's why I went to medical school, right? To help people to overcome their health problems. But I realized that the problems that a lot of my patients face go beyond what I can do for them in the clinic. A lot of their problems come from outside, and it's usually centered around a lack of information. And that's why I transitioned into communications. That's my personal story. I use that a lot when I'm talking about my content, and it attracts a lot of people because they feel what I'm saying. All right. So transitions or insights, what most people misunderstand about a particular issue. What, like during COVID, we talked about masks and hand washing and all those things. You can pick different things and say, what do most people misunderstand about being a pediatric nurse? Or what do most people misunderstand about caring for the elderly? Or what do most people misunderstand about? So you can craft stories from that, or boundaries, what I will and will not do as a professional. Those are some examples. Let's look at another example, right? So here's a doctor who, in the course of his practice, he realized that good care and good communication are not the same thing. That's the insight. Remember the last one we talked about was insight, what most people misunderstand. So it's, he found that, you could be a good carer, but not necessarily good at communication. And you find that good communication actually improves the quality of care. That could be your insight, right? And so this doctor crafted this insight into a story. And it positioned him well because people saw him, people could relate to his story. That story got a lot of viral engagement because he touched on a point that a lot of patients feel. There's an unspoken needs among patients. They want to feel heard, they want to feel understood. They feel like, yes, the doctor is good, but he's not, I'm not communicating with him. I wish my doctor would talk to me like a human being, or I wish my nurse would talk to me like a human being. And so that's the doctor's insight. He crafted a story around it, and the story blew up. And it positioned him for things like an international advisory, consultancy, and so on because of that. So that's an example of how, if you craft a story that people can relate to, it can actually boost your visibility. So I'm getting close to the end of my presentation. The one of the points I want to make is that there are ways that there are certain things you can tap into that will scale your visibility. On the surface level, we might feel our hands are tied because of policies and hospital protocols, and rules and regulations. It just feels so constraining, especially in outside, in the advanced world where data rules and regulations apply. You might feel a little constrained about how much you can share. You don't want to break any laws, or you don't want to feel like you're oversharing, you're sharing too much. One of the things you can do is to go beyond the surface and look at human experiences that are universal. Things like burnout. Everybody experiences burnout, no matter the field, right? So you can touch on those kind of points, or communication gaps, or ethical dilemmas, things that connect healthcare professionals globally. That's something that connects, even money. I know one colleague of mine who is doing well he's talking about money, finances for healthcare professionals. From his own lived experiences, he's crafting stories around it, and his audience is growing, and he's actually becoming more visible. So you can touch on those kind of things. So you can focus on those things that connect us together as healthcare professionals to scale up your visibility. All right. And even if you have already started this journey of storytelling and your content is already well defined, I'm hoping that some of these points will help you to fine tune your content around these kind of stories. Then we'll have to talk about ethics and professional safety. So whatever information you are gathering or you're thinking of sharing, you need to put it through the filter of ethics and anonymity. So remove names, remove any identifiable features or things that will make people, you don't want to get into trouble for sharing anything that would expose anybody or make anybody vulnerable. Or you can use composite stories. So one way is that instead of talking about a particular case, you can bring out different cases and tie them all together, so it doesn't look like you're focusing on one. And another thing is just focus on the learning, focus on the insight. What is the lesson from this? What does this help others to understand better? In storytelling, always start with, like I said, start with audience, but then after thinking about your audience, what is the message, the core message you want to pass across, and is it of value? Focus on value anytime you're crafting your stories. So like another example is like a midwife who decides that she wants to focus on what women say after they deliver. All right. And what most clinicians overlook or underestimate. You can see how niche that is. All right. So she found that in the world, a lot of healthcare professionals, they are so engaged and involved with the client up until the child is delivered. After the child is delivered, everybody's focus is on the child. Not everybody's talking about the mother anymore and her emotions, her feelings, and all of those things. She decided that was going to be her content focus. All right. And instead of speaking about a particular case, she's putting it all together and talking in a way that nobody's exposed. So she's describing patterns rather than specific events. Okay. In that way, she can maintain her professional standing and build trust with her peers. Now, let's go to a very important part. This is the closing part of my presentation, which is to say that I can tell you from experience that content creation and storytelling is not easy if you want to do it right. If you want to do it thoughtfully, it takes a lot to put stories together. It takes a lot. And one of the simple ways to make sure that you don't get burnt out and to reduce decision fatigue is to just come up with a framework. All right. Like there's some what we call content pillars. Content pillars are like a stream of content that is related under a particular topic. So one way is to develop a framework around your content, and it doesn't have to be forever. It could just be, okay, for the next 6 months, I'm going to frame my content around 3 things. Number one, I'm going to talk about what years of practice taught me about being a dentist. And then a mistake I see often among so and so, maybe healthcare workers like myself or patients or something, or a part of healthcare that is rarely talked about. So those 3 content pillars, you can build your stories in those funnels. So it makes decision making easy. Okay, this week I'm talking about this, next week I'm talking about that. So basically the lesson on this slide is that find a way to put a system towards your story, put your storytelling in a system, in a framework, so that because you're a busy professional, right? You're busy, you're doing night shifts, you're doing all of that. You need to be very structured about it. And I could talk on and on about this. At the end of the day, I'll share a link to my YouTube channel where I explain a lot more about how to put together your content and storytelling. But I just want to say that at the end of the day, right, maybe for some of us, we are doing this because we want to increase our level of opportunity, increase the opportunities that come to us to make impact, to add value, and to make money. Let's be real. Some of us really want to look at this as an alternative source of income, right? Something, and maybe you're just passionate about this, and you just feel like, okay, at the end of the day, you still want to get paid, or you want to be able to make impact. It starts with storytelling. Like Yinka said something at the beginning. She's talked about the fact that when she started, she missed a lot of things, but then she now realized that, it's really about being clear. And that's what storytelling helps you do, right? If you package all the information, all the knowledge in your head, package it into stories, right? And the next slide, I'll talk about a simple structure you can use. But if you package all that, it improves clarity. Now, when you communicate information clearly, when you improve the clarity and understanding of your audience, what's the next thing that happens? They trust you more. And it's that trust and credibility is on that foundation that you're going to build the opportunity. Opportunities may be speaking engagements, consulting. I know that a lot of my consulting gigs have come because people trust me. They've seen my consistency over the years. They've seen the things I'm passionate about. I speak in a relatable way. I tell them my ups and downs, everything, and they just have this trust and confidence. And I've heard people actually say in meetings, they say, "Oh, we have him on board. I can go to sleep." And it makes me feel good because I know that, and it makes me feel good because I know that trust. I've built it. I've earned their trust. So that is your goal. Storytelling is a foundation, and the consistency in which you do it will build your credibility and give you more opportunities to make income. So basically, this is really short, but like I said, I have a lot of YouTube videos where I speak more about this. But stories have a simple structure. This in this part, I divided into 7, but you can make it even as simple as 3. I'll give you a simple 3-part structure of a story, and I'll use the words A, B, T, and, but, therefore. And is talking about the background, right? And I woke up in the morning, heading out to work because I work at a busy dental clinic, and but I received a call that a patient missed his dose because he didn't understand this. Therefore, I did this and this and this and this and that. That's a simple structure. But if you want to break it down a little further, we can look at this 7-part structure, right? The background, set the scene. What kind of, your story doesn't have to be dramatic. This is not Nollywood or Hollywood. It's just simple. It just has to be something that people can relate to. All right. It's a good story is simply a clear sequence of understanding. So you start with a background, right? It doesn't have to be so detailed, but just give some context. Like, over the years, I've noticed that so and so and so, or in my line of work, this comes up a lot. So it just shows that what you're sharing comes from repeated experience. Okay. It's not just a one-off event, and it's not fake. Next is the character. So it doesn't have to be a named person. It can be you. It can be a type of patient, a role, or even the system itself. So the character could be a problem, like maybe a lack of water in the healthcare center, or a lack of feedback, good feedback between supervisors and mentees, or supervisors and employees. Just something that could be the character. And then comes the challenge. This is the tension. So what keeps going wrong, or what is misunderstood, or what assumptions are not holding up in real life? This is where people are listening to and say, yeah, that's true. I've seen this challenge. I can relate with it. And then you have to get to a turning point. A turning point doesn't have to be so dramatic, but it's often a period when there's a change. So it's a quiet realization, or a moment when you notice a pattern, or something, a change that resulted as a result of the challenge, basically, if I want to summarize. Okay. And then after that, the lesson. What's the lesson that this teaches you? And then the resolution. What happened after that insight? Did anything change? In the story I gave about a community where the doctor created a documentary about the water situation. Maybe what changed after that was that they found a donor to come and supply the equipment to build a borehole. So something actually happened after that. And basically takeaway. So at the end of the day, you want your audience to take a message away, right? And so that should be at the back of your mind as you're crafting your story. It doesn't have to be long, it can be short. You can practice using this outline or the ABT technique I told you about, and how do you implement this into your content? So even if you're doing a TikTok video, or a YouTube short, or a long video, you can have a structure to it. Even if it's a very short video, right? You wake up in the morning, you realize that you want to take notes. You have a meeting coming up and you're thinking of how to take your notes. Oh, should I use my iPad? Should I use my tablet? Okay, then you now figure one out, and then I'm actually trying to share a short I saw by another medical doctor who is very successful on Instagram. This is how he crafts his stories. Very relatable, very personal. So that's essentially, like I said, we can talk about storytelling all day. I just hope that these few slides I've shared are helpful, helps you to think about storytelling. For me, if there's one or two things I want you to take away from this session, more than anything else, it is that your audience first, right? Think about your audience. Think about the fact that storytelling is basically organizing information in a simple and clear way. The more you can elicit emotions from your audience, the more successful your story will be. So think about making it emotional, and then think about being consistent. right? Vandita spoke about that, the previous speaker. I hope I didn't get her name wrong, but she talked about that you have to be consistent. You have to set up systems so that you can be consistent, because that's the only way that people will trust you. And it's trust that builds your audience. When one person sees that you're showing up and trusts you, they like your content, they share it, they comment on it. Another person sees that, oh, people are commenting on his content, people are liking his content, maybe he's worth listening to, maybe I can trust. And that's how your visibility increases. So it starts with your stories, your audience, how to make it clear, emotional, relatable, real, without contravening ethical boundaries, then showing up consistently to build that trust, and then we go from there. So finally, I will say that you already have the stories from your work, from your experiences in life. You already have the stories, and I dare say you even have the influence. It's just that you need to learn how to package it well and use it publicly, consistently, in a way that builds trust and credibility. So storytelling is not about shouting or making noise or dancing on TikTok. It's about being clear, being consistent, building trust and visibility. So as the end of the session, I hope it was useful. Just to say that you can follow me on LinkedIn and Instagram. I share, a little tips here and there about visual communication and storytelling, and I do a little bit more of that on YouTube because I love making videos. So there you see a lot of stuff, both things that will help you and some other personal things as well. So Inka, that's the end. I hope it was useful. I'll just log out now.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Please let's use our emoji and appreciate Dr. Shala. Thank you for that, insightful and I would say relatable in the simplest form of it, how we can use storytelling. Like I said, I'm also here to learn myself. I think I don't tell the story a lot. I just stick to the doing and keep doing. But that's where the impact comes from as well. You sharing even the process. One thing I've learned now is, especially my PhD now, sometimes I want to wait till I finish, then I'll start telling the story. But now I'm embracing the journey and even telling my story along the journey. And you never could tell, like you would not even imagine the number of people that's journey that you're communicating, that story that you're sharing, it's imparting, and they will be able to even pay to get the lesson that you have learned along that path. So thank you so much for sharing, and I'm an ardent follower, I'm an ardent fan. Thank you so much, Dr. Shield. God bless you. So please, can you put the link to your YouTube in the chat there, so that or if you send it to me, I'll put it so that people can follow. Now that's talking about YouTube. If you have not subscribed, you are here now, you have not subscribed to Olayinka Onoscochela, please do that now. I'm not a YouTuber, but that's the language. Subscribe, comment, turn on the notification button, right? Is that not what they say? All right, so let's do that. Let's do that now. Thank you so much. So we head on to the next session. Thank you, Dr. Shell. Okay, so I hope you're learning again in one word or two sentences or one sentence. What have you learned in this last session? Before we head on to, I see this is the most important, I won't say most important, but this is the main session, the healthcare launch part. And I know a lot of you have come here, because you want to launch or you're in the process and you just need help to refine what you're doing. So because of our time, I'm just going to go straight away into what we are going to talk about. So again, this session is from idea to execution. It's basically from idea to execution. Take screenshots, and I'm going to be sending this launchpad to you, to everyone who attend today. Everyone who attend today. I have 75 people registered. And I know, and I'm saying this basically because I know this is what happens when an event is free. When the program is free, people just sign up. Oh, it's free, I sign up. But they don't follow through. They don't really attend, or they don't even make use of the impact of the information that has been shared. So I'm going to be sharing this launchpad template to those who attend today. And how I'm going to know that is by filling the feedback. So there's a feedback from after this session. Those who attend will be able to complete it properly. So I'm going to be sending this. Do it yourself, Headpreneur Launchpad. So welcome again. This session basically, and this workbook that I've designed is designed to help you through the initial steps of clarifying your brand and business direction within the healthcare space. It is specifically crafted to help individual identify your professional foundation, explore potential business directions, and pinpoint the problems you're passionate about solving, and then establish an early positioning strategy, right? So the first thing, like I said, this is the time. What are your core values as healthcare professional? What do you consider as important to you? So you're going to be filling this space. You can do it as I speak. It's important to know your core value because that is what will drive your passion. That is what will drive your dedication, your commitment to what you are offering. So talking about core values, an example, it could be your core value could be, let me say, trustworthiness. Your customer or your clients can hit their chest and say, I trust so person, I trust so brand. So you need to be able to communicate how you translate this value into your practice, into your service. So list out your core values. What are the things that you hold dear that is very important to you as it relates to your brand or to that idea that service you want to offer? What are your key skills and areas of expertise? This is your professional foundation. If you don't do this, there's no way going. Like you could just be chasing cloud or following some other people's footprint because somebody is doing it. So what are your key skills? What are you good at? Of course, somebody, if you don't know yourself, they will have told you. And in your area of practice, what skills, what strengths do you bring in? Now, the third thing there is what aspect of your work do you find most fulfilling? Honestly, as a nurse, I don't have any problem working on the bedside, but I knew that I needed more, or I could do more. I function best in this space of talking, of coaching. I could coach clients, I could coach patients. I function more in talking, in delivering than doing. So, and this is what I find most fulfilling. So what aspect of your work do you find most fulfilling? You need to be able to identify this. Now, talking about your brand or business direction, where are you going to from here? You need to be able to explore the direction that align with your professional foundation. So how do you do this? What potential business models are you most drawn to? Is it consulting? Is it coaching? Is it online programs? Is it, physical service delivery, maybe home care? What business models are you most drawn to? You can't be doing everything. I tell you, I think I'm the best person to talk about this now because I have done everything. I have done everything, right? But then it's not just about you being able to do it. One thing I realized is that even though you know how to do all of these things, you don't have to do everything. You just need to be able to identify, okay, which one of these am I best at? Like that I could give in my best. Right. Now, the other question, what specific areas within healthcare are you most interested in focusing? Maybe that's your specialty. So that's the direction you go. I heard people talk about mental health. You have a direction of, even within mental health, are you focusing on young people, on older people, on women? Is it general? Are you talking about preventive mental health or curative mental health? So which area are what's the direction? What are some initial ideas for your brand's unique selling proposition? So this is talking about what will make your brand stand out. Oh, there are a lot of home care business out there, of course. There's a lot of coaching program out there. There's a lot of mental health service out there. There's a lot of what will make your own stand out. What brings that uniqueness to your brand? There had to be something. There had to be something. For instance, since we launched Age Care Link, I would say even before I barely see anything home care, but now there's a lot of home care, in Nigeria and all of that coming, home care business, telehealth, and all that coming up. But people, my team members send me a lot of links. I say, see this one. When did they start? I said, they are not my competitors because Age Care Link stand out as the first integrated, so far, integrated care platform. We don't just offer services, we integrate services. And that is our unique selling proposition. So you have to have something that makes your brand or that service that you're offering unique. Now, the other thing that I need you to start thinking of, if you haven't, is what problems are you drawn to? So identify the problem you are most passionate about solving for your target audience. You cannot solve the problem of everybody. You are not the messiah. Right. So identify specific problems that you want to solve. What specific challenges or pain point do your ideal client face? Right. And some of them will come with you with different things. And then you want to think, I've done a lot, like through mentorship, and you feel like, oh, I think I'm good. For instance, even last week, I got an inquiry. Somebody wants to do OET. They're looking for OET tutor. I used to coach for OET. I used to train for OET. I was doing it so well. At some point, I had over 30, students. But now I feel like even though I can do it, I don't have to do it. I don't have to solve that problem. Okay, what other thing have I done? I'm sure some of you will know already, but you need to identify specific challenge. What's their pain points? Anybody, okay, those who are doing OET, what are they looking for? They're looking for career advancement. They're looking for better life. They are looking, some people even want to jackpot or travel abroad because they just need that financial lift. Okay, but how about I'm able to support you and coach you to do that wherever you are? Then the other question is, why are you particularly drawn to solving this problem? What is your why? If you don't have a why, if your why is just because you want to make money, I'm telling you, back down on branding. Just face your nursing job or your whatever, your 13 hours job, and face that. Fine, the money will come, but that will not be that shouldn't be your initial motivation. It should be first about impact, about solving a problem. Now, the next thing, how does solving this problem align with your values and expertise? And I think I've mentioned that there had to be alignment. There had to be alignment. There was a time I was selling clothing. So I was selling clothes. I have a fashion, I had a fashion brand, African lady in Dublin. If you know me that time, please just give a thumbs up, right? But it wasn't aligning, it wasn't in any way aligned with my expertise or with my profession or with my future, foresight or plan. So you need to be able to think about this. Now, we've talked a lot about positioning, so I'm not going to dwell too much. So it's very important as you are now, draft your early positioning statement. And it will help you to define how you want your brand to be perceived. For who? That's your target audience. Who are you struggling with? Like, what are you struggling with? What's the problem? What's your brand name? And make sure that your brand name is not just something that people cannot even understand. They need to be able to pick out, to understand what you stand for, even from your brand name. Right? And what do you provide? Now, in terms of reality, I made a post recently about brand check reality. What resources will you need to launch your business? So many of us, we just want to go. We don't plan. We don't know, okay, this is what I'm going to need. You need to plan. I had a particular coachee, and we're talking about brand development, the budgets for this business. They were going to business. What's the budget and all of that? We need to be able to put price to this. What resources, how much time will you dedicate into this? Now, I just talk about this is a free program now. Because it's free, people don't value the time, but time is very important. Do you have the time to even do the, or you just want to do it because other people have a brand and you want to be a CEO because everybody say I'm a founder and CEO? Is that what it's all about? So do you have the time to really build the brand? I have people who have signed up for the SK Expert program and the first, second week, and they don't show up any longer. So what are the potential challenges, obstacles you might face? You need to think, okay, time, how do I combine this? All of this will help you to plan better. And how will you measure the success of your brand or business? Very important. So you're going to, this is a worksheet that you need to work on. I'm just giving us a highlight of what you have to do. Now, gap. What's gap between the current situation and your desired outcome? What's the gap? Maybe you want to be, like I said, you want to set up a consultancy. What gap exists now between the experience you have now, the qualification you have now, and your desired outcome? Do you need to do some extra course? Do you need to learn some skills? Do you need to outsource? Do you need to have some team to help you achieve that goal? Right. Like I said, I know nothing about business. And I was doing everything all together, figuring out, try and error until I enrolled into a business coaching program. And that was the turnaround for my brand. That was the major turnaround. And this happened last year, 2025. No, 2024, October. And if I tell you how much I pay for that coaching program, some of you will say, how come? Right. But it made a lot of difference, a huge difference in my brand, because I closed that gap. I realized that no, I need to learn more about the business of coaching if I want to be a coach. Now, what steps can you take to close this gap? Do you have to sign up for coaching? Do you have to enroll in a program? It can even be your career, maybe not necessarily business or brand. Do you need to sign up for that course? But I want to say this, that don't wait till you have that qualification. And I say that the qualification you have now, that license you have now, you can do something with it. You can do a lot with it, not even something. Some people, oh, maybe when I get after my master's, I will do it. You don't need a master's to start to have your own brand. You don't need a master's. Right. Then the last one, what support system or mentorship can you leverage? And there's a lot of programs on there. And that will bring me to the next one. So this is where you made the decision. Based on everything that we have talked about, what is your next step? Do you feel like, okay, I need more time to reflect. I need structure and a care plan. I need accountability to execute. At the Healthcare Expert program, we have a community, an accountability community, which is very important, because sometimes we start all so enthusiastic. You just need a community to help you that you can be accountable to as well. Right. So I'm going to pause this. We'll look. If you have any question for me now, put it in the chat box, right? And I'm going to answer why I prepare to share with you live example of healthcare professionals who have launched or either in the process of launching their brand. In the last year, 2025, over how many people? I think I did exploratory call with up to 40 or even 50 healthcare professionals. And that would tell you how much people, they needed more. People are looking for healthcare professionals want more. That's why you're here. That's why 75 people signed up for this. Yeah, even all of them are not here. Right. They want more. You know that you want more. And I tell you, 25 signed up for the Healthcare Expert program. And out of them, last year, about 11 of them completed the program and launched their brand or business. So while I'm waiting for a question there, I'm going to share with you here. Let me see if I can get it down here, just for you to see live examples, because I could go on and tell you, just like Vandita have shared a bit about different opportunities, different ways you can brand yourself, right? But just so you see real life examples, and they are not, these are not AI, okay? And you can relate with it. I'll wait for your question while I prepare to share this. So it will interest you that I think the first out of these, we also have pharmacists, midwife, nurses. I have somebody who is not even in healthcare, was an healthcare assistant, but later on now she's now doing nursing. She's now currently doing nursing. So this is just like a showcase for them as well. And I know one of them is here. Kirat Rabio. She's a registered dietitian. So you can imagine dietitian, what kind of brand will a dietitian, set up? She went into home care business. So the business is launching their home care business here in Ireland and went through the program. Herself and our colleague, who is a nurse, so the co-founded program, and it's called Expert Aid. So Expert Aid home care business in Ireland. That's a business. So you can say a dietitian, you don't need to have an MBA to set up a home care business. And they signed up for the coaching program. The other person is Nneka Ogo, and Nneka is in Belfast, Northern Ireland, and our brand is on surgical care and recovery. So she's a surgical care and recovery coach, as well as she provides supports with people who are planning for surgery or recovering from surgery, in-home service and virtual coaching and all of that. So this is a brand, right? And I also have Yemi Adegbile, and she's right here with us, if she's still on, a facility nurse consultant. So she's focusing on, women of ethnic minority who are trying to conceive and helping them navigate that journey and supporting them with services, as a social enterprise. So that is a real life brand. Victoria is a nurse, but she's a transformational coach, and she launched a brand, Brain Coaching Consults, coaching people on how they can discover, purpose, really purpose development, and personal development coach. And that's a nurse. That's a brand, right? Madeline is a pharmacist, and she launched Our Wellness. She's a pharmacist, but she's also a wellness coach. So these are real life. Because of our time, I could go on and on. Now, this is Sabisa, who started as an healthcare assistant, as a healthcare support worker, and she's a massage therapist. So she launched a brand. She had it going, but we were able to help her rebrand it so much into a mobile massage service. She provided home massage therapies anywhere, wherever you are, bringing it, and that's another brand. Are we done? Oh, okay. Emanuela, she's a nurse, but her brand is Divine Touch Consult, and she focuses on supporting recovery, mental well-being, and burnout prevention for individuals, anyone, anyway, who is navigating, work stress, navigating illness, and all of that. So that's another brand. Iroro is the co-founder with Kirat, and she's a registered nurse, like I mentioned. So, as I said, these are possibilities, and there are so many. I have a resource that I prepared last year, and it's 21 healthcare 2021 ways to earn as healthcare professionals. So I'll share the link for you to download it as well, for those who attend, so you get the opportunity. So where we are moving to now is, I hope you can see my screen. So this is we're rounding up now. For you, if you're ready to launch your brand, you're ready, to take it to the next level, I'm inviting you to the 100 Days Executive Coaching Program. And when I say this, you're going to launch your brand or your business in 100 days. And this is not gainsaying at all. It's not a course that you watch. So don't say, oh, send me the link. No, it is an executive one-to-one coaching program. In 100 days, you're going to build the structure, you have the accountability and the direction to launch your brand or business. in 100 days. I should have said what's the difference between a personal brand and a business. Of course, a personal brand is just you putting up your expertise and you marketing it out. While a business is proper business, you need more structure, you need team, a lot of other things to put in place for a business. You have to get it registered and so on. So what you get in the 100 days is that I work with you, you know, on having a clear brand or business direction. You have a credible ethical healthcare offer that you can say, okay, this is your offering. For instance, we develop an offer with our wellness, and now she's offering like a wellness package program, 6 week wellness package program, big charge, she has a fee for that, and people are enrolling for that. So we'll prepare your offer, a signature offer. You're going to launch a signature offer or products within that time. Brand foundation and visibility, we're going to cover your business system and structure. Then we'll cover how you can have a confidence, the CEO confidence, and being able to make decision. Honestly, all of this is what I learned through thick and thin, through I don't even know what's through so many errors and mistakes. And you will have a personalized 100-day launch plan. What happens most time is that we don't have a plan, and then you just say, oh, we want to do it, I want to do it, and then you don't achieve it. And most importantly is the one-to-one executive coaching support that you need. So if you are interested, I'm going to send this again, like I said, to everyone who had registered, who joined in today, as part of my 40 for 40 initiative that I'll be talking about, because I'm going to be clocking 40. I want to coach 40 healthcare professionals this year. Last year was 25. I want to coach 40 to launch their healthcare brand or business in 100 days. So just use this link. What I say, I'm going to put in the chat box there to sign up. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to put the link there for you to sign up for an exploratory course. So what I'm not taking everybody. It's not everybody coming. You're going to come into a complimentary 30 minutes exploratory call that I will look through your plans, your ideas. We look at it together, and then I can offer you to join the program, because this time we need people who are really serious. You're ready to make that change. So I'll put the link there in the comment section, and I'll send it to the WhatsApp group as well for those who are interested. Okay, so that's for you to book the 20 minutes exploratory call to take this to the next level. Okay, and apart from that, so I'm waiting for your questions in the chat box. I'm waiting for your questions. And I just hope that in the last 2 hours now, like we've been talking about everything branding and how you can see the possibilities, right? This is a masterclass for you to see possibilities. And I hope you have seen those possibilities. You've seen that there could be structure. Clarity without structure can still leave you stuck. Insight without execution will fade. So what you need most importantly now is intentional action. You put in everything into work. How you can move from ideas, just having those ideas, to execution. And even if you're executing, how do you do it properly, have the right structure, have the right support without burnout, and without losing your alignment with your values. Right. So I'm going to ask you to do something quickly now. Again, I'm going to send it. It's an evaluation, a quick evaluation, and I appreciate if you answer. And it's still part of the process to reflect on this experience today. Just take a quick, what I call it now, just reflect on that in closing. What difference has this meeting done to you or your brand? What are you taking away from today? So I'm going to put that link there in the chat box, and I'll send it to the group as well. So Just answer that honestly. Take a moment, just pause. What am I taking out of here today? Let that sit into you. So answer this question basically, like, what specific insight or breakthrough did you gain from today's session? In your own word, how can you describe the impact of this program on, your personal goals or your business goal or your brand goals, right? So I think I've shared that there. Thank you so much. Please, if you have questions, you can drop it. I'm happy to take question. I'm going to answer right here now as well. Okay. And I just dropped there the evaluation form there. If we could also just take a quick 1 minute there to respond to that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right. Any question? Thank you for joining the SC Expert program again today. Like I said, you don't have to just let this, oh, it's free. Okay, you have taken this, but what next? What are you doing next with the information that you have gotten? What are you doing next with it? Okay, I'm just taking a look there to see if there's any question. And if you don't want to ask the question here, you have personal question, you can also, I know if you're in the WhatsApp group, you can you can chat me up or leave a question there as well. I'll be happy to respond. So what I'm doing now, if you attend this free masterclass and you're signing up for the healthcare expert coaching program, the 100 days, you will get a 20% discount on the current offer. If you attend this masterclass, not just signing up, those who attend, and I'm taking complete the how I know that you attend, basically, to be honest, is if you complete the feedback form, you get a 20% discount on the offers, the different packages based on, the exploratory call and what we agree on, because there are different entry levels. So some are starters, some are already, they're already in the process, and so there are different entry levels. So, but you get 20% off the package for that 100 days launch your healthcare business. And also, again, like I said, this is not a motivation talk, it's not a course, it is serious coaching. So if you know you are not ready, please do not bother to sign up at all. The exploratory call is a €50 fee there, which can be deducted from the final, from the final fee if you eventually sign up. So that's just to show that you are committed. So we're coming to the end, and I want to leave you with few things that I think should sit with you. First, thank you very much. Thank you for showing up thoughtfully. Thank you for reflecting honestly, and thank you for giving yourself permission to think beyond what is familiar. Not everybody can do this. So if there's one thing I hope you take away from today, is that you are not behind. You are at a point of awareness. What you felt, that restlessness, sometimes you feel, I just feel uneasy. The questions you're asking, the sense that there's more, is not confusion, it is growth. So today was not just about giving all the answers, like, it's a master class and we just heard tips and here. It was about helping you see more clearly where you are now, what you carry, and what might be possible. For some of you, maybe the next step is simply reflection. For others, maybe it's clarity. And for some, it is execution with structure and support. So as you're listening today, if this is your pathway, execution and structure, I'll really, really advise that you take on the 100 days, launch your healthcare business or brand, package. Sign up for the exploratory call, right? And again, I said this is part of my 40 for 40 commitments, working closely with 40 healthcare professionals. And this 40 will be picked from those who sign up. in this program. So fill it up, first come, first serve. It's an invitation, it's not an obligation. But it's important that whatever you choose next is aligned with your value, is aligned with what you truly desire. So thank you once again. You will get follow-ups via emails of the links to every resource that we have shared in today from the speakers as well, and the launch pad. Thank you very much. I hope you find it very, very useful. Thank you very much. What's supports here? I love if you can drop this your feedback in the evaluation form. Thank you so much. You said this program has certainly helped me refine my thoughts on branding as a healthcare professional. I learned from different examples listed and experiences highlighted. Thank you. Thank you, Yemi. See, thank you, Miriam. Thank you. Your takeaway is action. Yes, very important. Is action. You listen to so many messages. Take action. Take action. And that action could just be signing up for the 100 days to launch your healthcare business. Thank you very much. Have a lovely evening. Bye.